Hi, everyone. This is Frank Nunez, and you are listening and watching Teachly University. In this lecture today, we're going to be discussing a quantum leap and how to unleash the power of your mind. And I've spoken about the quantum leap strategy by Price Pritchett in one of my previous lectures, which I'll add a link to this lecture. But I think the Quantum Leap Strategy by Price Pritchett is such an astounding book. And we're going to be discussing his book as well as the 80/20 Rule by Richard Koch, which I think complements, both books complement each other very nicely in discussing how it is that we can achieve a quantum leap and why I think we are ready to achieve a quantum leap, or why I think it's so important that we achieve a quantum leap in various aspects of our lives, whether it's through our finances, for our careers, our personal lives, relationships, our health, perhaps to master a particular skill, is that quantum leaps can help us achieve extraordinary results in less time or effort. Because what we're doing is we're not working harder per se, or burning ourselves out, or putting ourselves in situations where we're like in the rat race where we just keep doing the same thing over and over again every single day in this monotonous routine that leads us nowhere. Rather, it's making a few small decisions or changes or tweaks that can radically transform your life for the better. And that is really what I think a quantum leap is where we expand ourselves, our abilities, our skills, and our perceptions about what is possible. So Price Pritchett says here from his book, The Quantum Leap Strategy, if you've been struggling, or if you instinctively know you could do something much bigger, you're ready for a performance breakthrough. Making the quantum leap going from U to U square is a radical idea, and it requires a fundamental shift in the way you operate. But the quantum leap strategy is it's not complicated. It doesn't need to be difficult or complex or profound. As Mozart would say, true genius resides in simplicity. So quantum leaps then aren't formed or come about through complexity. We tend to, and I've been guilty of this, tend to overthink, try to force outcomes. We stay persistent thinking that if we just keep doing the same thing over and over again, we will expect a different result. That is the definition of insanity, according to Einstein. But what we should really be doing is to look at how we can simplify our lives and get to the heart of the matter, get to the root of the problem. Usually, the simplest solution is the best one when it comes to trying to solve a problem. It's getting to the heart of the matter. That's why meditation and journaling and really taking the time where you are alone, perhaps in a quiet room, or in a situation where you can detach yourself from your external environment and try to get to the heart of the matter of why it is that you're experiencing this particular struggle, or why it is that you're not getting a particular result. When you ask yourself that question, when you listen to your intuition, or to your higher mental faculties, or to this higher intelligence that is within you, you will come up with an answer. And that answer is usually the action that you will need to take in order to achieve a quantum leap. So it's simplifying your life. It's doing a few things that lead to the best results, whether it's when it comes to the activities you do for your health, for your work, career, for your business, for your relationships, where a few relationships can bring you the most joy and also the most business as well. And again, we'll be going and discussing the 80/20 rule momentarily. But we see here it's about simplifying your life and trying not to overcomplicate it. Overcomplicating your life is not going to help you improve your life in any way, shape, or form, or to achieve that quantum leap. So harder is not automatically better. Your level of effort doesn't matter as much as the kind of effort. In other words, what you do is more important than how hard you do it. A quantum leap isn't something you make happen. It's something you allow to happen. Instead of trying harder, try easier. This reminds me of, I'm going to be using a golf analogy here, that my golf instructor, and I've been taking up golf the past couple of years. And when I first started playing golf, I was struggling like any other person or amateur golfer who begins the sport. It's a sport that really tries your patience and effort. And one day I remember my golf instructor was telling me, when I was kind of struggling to make contact to striking the ball, he told me, Frank, instead of trying harder, try easier. Or he actually said something else that was very profound. He said that treat every day as if it's a vacation. And this really made an impact on me, because I think there's a lot of validity to it. where I think in order for us to achieve more, we should actually stop trying so hard and put less effort, because it's not the level of effort per se, as Price Pritchett says, but it's the kind of effort. What types of actions are you taking? And in fact, what it's really also could be non-action, meaning that sometimes not doing anything can actually enhance your creativity. What blunts our creativity is that we stay busy thinking if we just stay busy long enough, we can actually come up with a breakthrough. It's actually, it could be quite the opposite, where we begin to surrender to a greater mind and to let go. There are unseen forces that exist, as I've mentioned in my previous lectures, whether we can call it God, higher intelligence, the universe, energy, nature, whatever name you want to call this unseen force. By impressing upon this unseen force what it is that you want in a relaxed state, where you're not trying to force an outcome, things seem to happen automatically. Life begins, or the universe begins to reveal itself to you in astounding ways, where you just begin to move automatically. The actions that you take, the way you move, the way you speak, it becomes effortless and with less strain. And that is the ultimate quantum leap, where we are authentically expressing ourselves. As Abraham Maslow suggests in his hierarchy of needs, is the pinnacle of human experience. And that is the essence of why we want to achieve a quantum leap, which is to be our authentic selves. So by achieving a quantum leap, then, it's not trying harder. It's simply focusing on the few things that will bring you the most joy, the most business, and the most results in any aspect of your life. And also to listen to your intuition, to ask yourself empowering questions, or ask yourself, perhaps, is there a way that I can enhance my business? Is there a way that I can improve my relationships? Is there a way that I can get healthier? Is there a way that I can make this process easier or overcome whatever challenge I'm experiencing? So it is the type of effort, not necessarily the level of effort. Try harder, not easier. Or try easier, not harder, excuse me. Our strengths often become weaknesses because we rely on them too heavily, habitually doing what we do best instead of seeking the best things to do. Someone said if your only tool is a hammer, you approach every problem as if it were a nail. Put down your old familiar tools for now, or else find a different way to use them. So one of the conventional wisdoms that we're told is that to achieve anything, we have to be persistent and work hard. Now, there's some validity to this. Persistence, I think, is important, but to a point. And in fact, our strengths can actually be what's holding us back. Because if we keep doing the same thing over and over again, even if it is a strength that we have, it doesn't necessarily mean that's going to help us achieve a desired result or improve a circumstance in our life in some way. So it's not so much focusing on your strengths, it's focusing on the right mindset, the right thoughts, and the right behaviors and actions that can help propel you to wherever it is that you want to go with less effort and strain. It's the path of least resistance. And that starts again with going within. Hence, again, stressing the importance of meditation. Well, we take the time when we disconnect ourselves from what's happening outside of us. And we allow the mind to heal ourselves by focusing on what we want, by living in the end, and by feeling as if what we want is already here. And repeating affirmations to ourselves and visualizing what it is that we want in a relaxed state. Part of the reason why I think so many people struggle with affirmations and visualization exercises is that when they do these things, they feel they have to consciously force what it is that we're visualizing to come forth into our lives. Or that we may feel that what we're visualizing or what we're affirming to ourselves or what we're suggesting is not possible. So in order to combat this, the best way to do so is to accept whatever it is that you're feeling. If you're visualizing or affirming something related to a goal and you feel perhaps that it's not possible, that's okay. Accept that you're feeling this way and put yourself in a relaxed state and just affirm and suggest that what you want is already done, that creation is complete. And when you do this enough times subconsciously, this can then change our beliefs about what is possible and what we're capable of. And naturally, over time, this can catapult us to new quantum leaps that can help reveal new insights we may have not recognized before, that can make our lives easier in so many ways and in profound ways as well. So it's not about persistence as much as it is doing the right actions and embracing the right mindset, which is focusing on what we want and not working the problem within the problem itself and not conform to what is occurring in our external reality or in our circumstances. So quantum leaps require you to start thinking about what you want instead of what common sense says is a reasonable thing for you to expect. So quantum leaps then are based on us focusing on what it is that we would like to have. That's why journaling, I think, is so important. Write down what it is that you want. And whatever it is that you're feeling, whether you feel confident or not that what you want is possible, that's okay. Accept what it is that you're feeling. Be in a relaxed state and assume the wish fulfilled, that what you want is already here. And what causes us so much stress and mental strain is that we try to come up with a solution to how it is that we're going to get what we want. And the truth is that there's no one way to do something, and we're not going to know every step along the way to get what we want. But when we focus on what we want with feeling and emotion, feeling that what we want is already possible, then the appropriate steps to get what we want reveal themselves to us with less strain or effort. By living in the end, then, the path reveals itself. Doors open, new opportunities, experiences, relationships occur when we begin focusing on the end result and not worrying about how we're going to get there. Because any business, any film or piece of art, or anything that's ever been created all started with an idea where there was nothing outside our environment to validate that that idea was even possible. Yet these ideas went from being intangible to tangible. So, as Price Pritchett says, most people have the wiring in their brains messed up. They've decided to doubt the wrong things, such as their potential, the availability of breakthrough opportunities, and their chances for making a quantum leap. For now, if you must doubt something, doubt your limits. So we should not conform to the suggestions and the conventional wisdom of everyday life. It is up to you to decide what is possible or impossible. Do not worry, as I said before, about how it is you will achieve a particular outcome, but rather you focus on the end result, because even if you don't get that particular goal or achieve it, something else will come along the way that is even better than what it is that you originally strided for. So do not doubt your limits. Realize that you are much more powerful than what you first thought. And that by living in the end and focusing on what it is that we want and walk in faith and just assume what we want and go about our day, over time, our personality changes. Where instead of bracing negative emotions and thoughts and ideas and self-limiting beliefs, we walk into a new reality because our personality is changing our personality right in front of our eyes without us even realizing it sometimes. It's when we subconsciously change our beliefs on a subconscious level, where it becomes instinctive to believe that we have the ability to create more money effortlessly in our lives by providing quality service for others, where everything we touch turns to gold, that we are creative geniuses, that we have the ability to have great relationships, that we are in great health, that we have the ability to live life as we choose. These concepts, though simple, are incredibly powerful if we believe that they are true. And if you subconsciously believe that this is true, then life will naturally change for you in astounding ways, hence achieving or making a quantum leap. So to quote Richard Koch from his book, The 80-20 Rule, work less, Worry Less, Succeed More, and Enjoy More. This is a great book, which I think serves as a great complement to Price Pritchett's work. He says that the most successful people change the world not through sweat and tears, but through ideas and passion. It's not a matter of hard work or time on the job. It is having a different view, an original idea, something that expresses their individuality and creativity. Success comes from thinking, then acting on those thoughts. So a common theme here between Richard Koch and Price Pritchett is that it's not about working harder, but it is about ideas and passion. We could replace passion with feeling that our ideas are possible. And that when we act out on our instincts, we choose the path of least resistance. Because when we act out on our instincts, we're acting out on inspired ideas and actions. What creates internal conflict is when we're acting against our instincts or what it is that we want. We choose jobs that we don't like, take on activities that we don't enjoy. We end up in relationships that they're not good for us, and so on and so forth. We create mental strain for ourselves because we keep doing things that we don't want to do. Or at least we do things in a way that doesn't help us enter states of flow, where we're immersed in the present moment and we're thoroughly enjoying what we're doing. So it makes sense then that to achieve a quantum leap, it's not about working harder, but rather embracing new ideas about what your life could look like, what your business could look like, how much money you can earn, the kind of relationships you will have, the impact you're going to have on the world, etc. And act out on those ideas by living in the end. When you live in the end and have passion for these ideas and goals, as I said before, you will find the path. The path will reveal itself to you. And life becomes much more easier and effortless. So once again, to quote Richard Koch, he says that the reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. I love this quote by Richard Koch. Because what Koch is saying is that we cannot change our lives by conforming to the rules that society sets for us. Now, I'm not saying break the law, obviously, or do anything that's irresponsible. But there's a lot of conventional wisdom and suggestions out there that are designed, even though they may have good intentions, they don't help us achieve what it is that we want to achieve. So it's not to conform to our external reality, but rather to conform to our empowering beliefs in the healing power of our own minds to overcome and achieve a quantum leap. It is living life on our own terms, living life the way we want to, having the relationships that we want to have, making the amount of money that we would like to have, to earn, helping others through our gifts and abilities. So it is not conforming to what is happening outside of us. And of course, this could be a daunting task sometimes, because when we don't conform, we may find ourselves in situations where we may lose relationships, friends, we may even lose our jobs, and we may see some major disruptions in our lives that may cause us to second guess this new way of thinking. But when we push through this and get to the other side, we see that this is all part of a bigger plan. That the universe is revealing itself to you and moving things in a certain way to help you achieve what you want. Remember what I talked about with these unseen forces, that once you start listening to your intuition and stop trying to force things and allow these unseen forces to take over, where you use them and embrace them and embody this unlimited mind, then we can create life as we choose. As I said, life becomes much more effortless. So to conclude, once again with Richard Koch, he says that anything that just yielded an average degree of satisfaction for the time or effort should be discarded. Avoid hard work. Don't push water uphill. Be very selective in what you do and have a great life. And I love this part of the quote where he says, be very selective in what you do. So what Koch is saying is that it's okay to say no. And that it's not about being busier, but being very selective and being deliberate and intentional with how we live every single day. If we're if you're asked to do something that does not help you in achieving a particular goal, or doesn't make you feel good, or you feel does not give you any value or help others as well, then it's probably best not to take that action. It's okay to say no. It's better to do one or two things in a day that can help propel you in a more desirable direction than to take a whole bunch of action in a single day but yields you very little results. So it's not about forcing outcomes, but it is going with the flow. And if there's times when you're not busy and there's no inspired action that's necessary, or are inspired to take action, then don't take action. Step back and allow life to reveal itself to you. And you will be surprised at what new opportunities and experiences emerge. And while at the same time also discovering new mental faculties and powers you didn't recognize. And how suddenly what seemed to be like an overwhelming problem all of a sudden becomes solved because you've outgrown the problem. Because you're not working to solve it within the problem. Rather, you are living your ideal life now by focusing on what it is that you want. And whenever you experience negative emotions, don't fight them off, accept them, because it is through these negative emotions that we discover what it is that we really want. And by doing so, then, suddenly life changes where our problems seem to fade away and life becomes a endless stream of new experiences and opportunities and joy and abundance that we didn't realize existed until we finally opened our eyes and stopped trying to force outcomes, or as Koch says, when we stop trying to push water uphill. Thank you so much for listening to this lecture, and I'll see you next time. Take care.